Do you know the calm one sentence that can stop you from handing cops permission to search your car right now? If you say the wrong thing, you can give away your strongest protection in seconds. And once you consent, your chance of beating that search later gets a lot weaker. Before I reveal the exact words, hit subscribe so you can find this video again when your heart is racing on a real traffic stop. And like this video now, because you will forget this under pressure if you don't lock it in today. If you get pulled over, your biggest danger is not always the ticket. It is your mouth. A lot of drivers think the search starts when an officer opens the door. Wrong. It usually starts when you say one tiny word. Yes. In this video, you're going to learn the exact line that protects your rights, the follow-up question that exposes whether you're still being held, the mistake that makes people talk themselves into handcuffs, and the calm move that keeps you safe even if the officer keeps pushing. Most people have no idea how fast a normal stop can turn into a fishing trip. I've analyzed over 200 body cam videos, and the pattern is always the same. The driver tries to be nice, tries to look innocent, and ends up helping build the case against them. By the end of this, you will know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it without sounding rude, scared, or combative. Now let us talk about why this matters so much to you. When an officer says, "Mind if we search?" It sounds casual, it sounds harmless, it sounds like a little request. But your answer can change everything. If you say yes, you may be giving legal permission for them to look through your car, your bags, your center console, and whatever else falls inside that search. If they find something bad, your yes becomes the first brick in the wall against you. Even if you did nothing wrong, that search can lead to delays, more questions, more pressure, and more chances for you to say something that hurts you. Here is the reality. Officers are trained to make you feel like refusing is suspicious. It is not. You do not lose your rights because someone with a badge asks in a calm voice. You lose them when you hand them over. The first thing you do is refuse consent clearly and calmly. This is your foundation. If you miss this step, the rest gets much harder. Here is exactly what you say. "Officer, I do not consent to any searches," word for word. Memorize that line. Keep your voice low, keep your face calm, keep your hands where they can see them. You are not arguing, you are not insulting them, you are not resisting, you are just refusing permission. Here is the trick they do not want you knowing. A lot of searches happen because drivers volunteer them, not because officers had a warrant, not because officers had real proof, not because officers had some magic power. They happened because the driver made it easy. That is why this line matters so much to you. Defense attorneys use this exact line in court. Why? Because it creates a clean record. It shows you did not agree. That matters later if a judge has to decide whether the search was legal. Bad way. Most drivers say, "Well, I guess that is fine. I have nothing to hide." Then the officer gets easy permission and the whole stop changes. Good way. Smart drivers say, "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." Then the officer loses the easy shortcut of your permission. Let me show you exactly why this works. There's a Supreme Court case called Schneckloth v. Bustamante. In plain English, the court said a consent search can be valid if your consent was given voluntarily. That means if you freely say yes, the search gets a lot harder to challenge later. The court also said police do not have to warn you that you can refuse. Read that again in your mind. They do not have to tell you that you can say no. That is why you must say it yourself. This comes straight from Supreme Court rulings. And there is another case you need to know, Ohio v. Robinette. In plain English, the court said police do not have to tell you that you are free to go before asking for consent. So if you're waiting for some fair warning like, "Hey, by the way, you can refuse," you may wait forever. Your protection is not their warning. Your protection is your words. Here is the reality. Refusing consent does not mean the officer will always stop. If they have another legal reason, they may still search, but your refusal still matters. It blocks the easiest path. It keeps you from helping them. It gives your lawyer something real to work with later. Legal experts agree this is your strongest protection. This is 100% legal. You're allowed to say no, calmly, clearly, without explaining yourself. Watch what happens when drivers forget this. They start rambling. "Well, I am in a hurry. Why do you need to search?" "I do not think you should. There's nothing in there." All of that is weak. All of that opens the door. The officer keeps talking, keeps nudging, and keeps waiting for that soft yes. Your job is not to win a debate. Your job is to protect your rights with one clean sentence. "Officer, I do not consent to any searches." That is it. Then stop. Have you ever been asked this during a stop? Or do you think you could stay calm enough to say it? Tell me in the comments, because I want to know what your real reaction would be. Your second move is just as powerful, and most drivers never use it. After you refuse consent, you ask one question that forces the moment to become clear. You look at the officer and say this: "Am I being detained, or am I free to leave?" Those exact 9 words. Memorize them too. If the traffic stop is done, the question matters. If the stop is not done, that question still matters. Either way, you learn where you stand. Why is this so important to you? Because traffic stops are supposed to be about traffic business, license, registration, insurance, ticket, or warning. Then you go. But some stops keep stretching. A quick ticket turns into extra questions. Then comes the dog. Then comes the backup officer. Then comes the hang tight for a minute. That extra minute can become the whole case. Former police officers have confirmed this works because it puts a spotlight on whether the officer is still handling the stop or just stalling for more. Bad way. Most drivers say, I guess I can wait, or sure, take your time. Then the stop keeps dragging while the officer hunts for something else. Good way. Smart drivers say, am I being detained or am I free to leave? Then the officer has to show whether there is a real legal reason to keep holding them. Let me show you exactly what the Supreme Court said. In Rodriguez versus United States, the court ruled that police cannot stretch a traffic stop longer than needed just to do unrelated investigation, like a dog sniff, unless they have separate facts that point to crime. In plain English, they do not get bonus time with you. They do not get to turn a taillight stop into a free-for-all because they feel curious. Once the traffic mission should be done, keeping you longer without a real reason can become illegal. This comes straight from Supreme Court rulings. Now be smart about how you use this. Do not bark it out like a challenge. Do not say it with attitude. Do not lean forward or wave your hands. You say it the way you would ask for a receipt. Calm, short, clear. Am I being detained or am I free to leave? If the officer says you are free to go, leave quietly. If the officer says you are detained, do not argue roadside law school with them. Stay calm, stay put, and keep protecting your mouth. This is 100% legal. You are allowed to ask if you are free to leave. That question does not make you guilty. It makes you informed, and it can stop you from standing there forever. I have analyzed over 200 body cam videos, and the drivers who ask this cleanly usually do better than the ones who just stand there confused. Watch what happens when you do not ask. The officer keeps the conversation floating. Not arrested, not free, just stuck. That gray zone is where people start talking too much. They admit where they came from. They explain who owns the bag. They guess about what might be in the trunk. Your simple question closes that fog. It forces the moment to become clear for you, for the camera, and later for the court. Your third move may save you more than anything else after that. You stop talking. Not rude silence, smart silence. If questions shift from the traffic issue into fishing questions, you say this: I choose to remain silent. I want a lawyer. Short, direct, no extra words. Say it once, then actually stay quiet. This part shocks a lot of people. They think staying silent means just staring out the window and not answering. But the law is trickier than that. In Burghouse v. Tompkins, the Supreme Court said you usually need to clearly say you're using your right to remain silent. In plain English, quiet by itself may not be enough. You need to speak to claim silence. Sounds backward, I know, but that is exactly why you need the line. I choose to remain silent. I want a lawyer. Bad way. Most drivers say, I already told you everything, or why are you asking me that? Then they keep talking. Good way. Smart drivers say, I choose to remain silent. I want a lawyer. Then the safest path gets a lot clearer. There's an older case you have heard of too, Miranda v. Arizona. In plain English, the court spoke on custody questioning. The big lesson for you is this: use the words. Do not assume the officer knows what you mean. Do not say, maybe I should talk to someone. Do not say, I think I need a lawyer. Be direct, I want a lawyer. Defense attorneys use this exact line in court because vague words create fights. Clear words create records. Listen closely because this is critical. A lot of people talk because they think silence looks guilty. That fear destroys them. Your silence is not proof. Your chatter is evidence. If there is something in the car you do not know about, if a friend left something behind, if your words get twisted, if the officer misheard you, your loose talking can become the story of the stop. You are never going to talk your way out of a search that an officer already wants, but you can absolutely talk your way into charges you did not expect. And remember this: staying silent does not mean refusing basic traffic documents where your state requires them. Give your license, registration, and insurance as required. Be respectful. But once it moves into search questions, shut the door. I choose to remain silent. I want a lawyer. Legal experts agree this is your strongest protection. If you have made it this far, you are serious about protecting your rights. Show me by hitting that like button. Your fourth move is the safety move. If the officer orders you out of the car, you comply physically but never give permission. Here is exactly what you say: I will comply, but I do not consent to any searches. Why does this matter to you? Because some drivers think refusing a search means physically blocking it. Huge mistake. Never grab the door, never pull away, never slap a hand away, never argue with the body cam. Pennsylvania verse. Mim says an officer can order you out of the car during a lawful stop. Step out calmly. But stepping out is not the same thing as agreeing to a search. There is one more case, Arizona versus Gant. In plain English, the Supreme Court said, police do not automatically get to search your whole car just because you got arrested. If you are secured and cannot reach the car, a search may be illegal. Your refusal still matters. So if they search anyway, do not help them. Do not open compartments. Do not unlock your phone. Do not explain what they are finding. Do not volunteer where things came from. Your line stays the same. I will comply, but I do not consent to any searches. Then stay quiet. This separates compliance from consent. Your power is in staying calm, staying clear, and stopping yourself from helping build the case. Hit subscribe for next week. Stay safe, stay calm, and keep your mouth from doing their job for them. Smash like and drop a comment.